Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angela.
It is Angela from RNA Music,
Yes.
your mom and pop guitar shop deep in the heart of Texas, and music lesson studio, where we keep the music alive for children
Yes.
of all ages. But today, it's Friday, and we are going to answer your questions with another episode of Ask RNA.
Yep.
Let's get to it. So excited. All right, y'all. Welcome to our channel. Today we are answering questions. If you're a new viewer, thanks for being here. Hope you subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, get notified of all our new videos.
Yep.
All that good stuff. And today it's time to answer some questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am so ready. Let's do this. First question, David Munoz. Hashtag First Monday. Hey y'all, how about some guitar tips and tricks, even for voice? We can always use those. Well, David, you're in luck, because yesterday I actually put up a little guitar lick video, so go check that out.
Yeah.
I am very far behind on those, but put one out yesterday. I think a house brand would be a great idea for you. Wish the cult with the cult YouTube following, as long as it's done in a unique way of some sort. I wish your online store was a bit big. I would love to contribute to your business.
Yeah.
And here's the question. Why don't you stock vintage guitars? Thanks for the comment, David. Yeah, you know, the online store has always been a work in progress for us.
Yeah.
And honestly, it hasn't been a high priority because we're so busy locally.
Right.
It's just...
It takes a back seat to students
Yes.
and just regular life.
Yeah.
So,
And, you know, I have some friends who have a pretty good sized store in Georgia. And they have a website, but they don't really sell online.
right.
And it's not really... I wouldn't say it's hurting them business-wise. I mean, you could always do more business.
Right.
But then you have to hire more people to handle that more business, and then it becomes a push and pull of what you want to do.
Yeah.
But you know, one of these days when I'm not teaching 1,000 students how to rock,
Right.
I will get in there and work on our website. Now, I'm not really sure if you're asking us why we don't stock vintage guitars, like old guitars,
Or the brand.
or the brand vintage guitars. Do you mean the brand vintage, or in general vintage guitars?
Right.
I guess I'll answer that both ways. We haven't ever bought into vintage, the brand. They're okay. They are not bad guitars for the money. They're more affordable, you know, priced instruments. And I've looked at them. We were at a store in Oklahoma. We were on our anniversary trip, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me check them out. I'm like, hey, they're okay.
Right.
They're not bad guitars at all. It may be something, but you know, we've got several other brands right now, and it's always for us, because we are smaller. It's like, where do we want to put the limited resources we have,
Right.
and what brands we want to carry? So in the future, maybe. Now, as far as actual vintage, like used stuff, that's a good market to be in, honestly. But you've definitely got to know what you're looking at, and you've got to buy it in, you know, used, obviously, or from guitar shows like the Dallas Guitar Show or the Arlington
Right.
show, and then be able to resell it. So
Either way, it takes a lot of money.
yeah, and time. Yeah, for the vintage, like
Resources.
the used gear stuff, it's like, you know, it's a hunt, you know, because there's a ton of vintage gear out there, but buying it at the right price that you can resell it and make a profit, there's
the tricky with it.
the trick right there. So there you go, David. Thanks for the question. Next question, Penny Wisdom 1983. This week, my local indie movie theater, my one-stop mom and pop movie shop, is doing an action movie marathon. John Wick, Mad Max, Fury Road, Edge of Tomorrow, and Looper. I love all those movies. If you had your own theater and could curate a 4-movie action movie marathon, what would be in it? Answer carefully. You can only choose 4. I like this question.
Yeah.
And then also he says, tell us about the washburn in the background. Is that a washburn with Iommi inlays? Looks cool. I want to know more. And then Philip Tomlin, who after that says, what's the washburn with the cross inlays? We'll get to that. Okay, we own the RNA Music Theater.
Okay.
We own, and we're going to put on
A movie marathon?
4-movie action
movie
marathon. What is the Angela marathon of actionness?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Just off the top of the head. Top 4 favorite action movies.
That's hard. I'm going through different genres in my head.
There's so many good ones, right?
There's so many good ones. Because then I'll think of one, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that would have been a better choice. Because then you can go like all the Lethal Weapon movies. You can go Die Hard and just be fine with all 4. Like
Right.
4 Die Hard movies, you got it. Same thing with Lethal Weapon. If you want to, I don't know if you want to mix it up with the Expendables or if you want to go like,
Well, they mixed it up.
Red.
The place he went to, they mixed it. So
Yeah.
it can be a mixture.
Some Mission Impossible movies with a few, good, the bad, and the ugly, which isn't really action. It's more just a
Westerns.
lot of Western.
All right, pick 4. Pick 4.
I can't just pick 4. That's a thoughtful question. I can't.
That's an impossible question.
Not for all the movies that I have yeah.
I haven't thought it through.
I have not.
But I'm
This
just going
is
to...
literally off the cuff. What you're hearing is my first time reading it and seeing it and trying to come up with something. So
Let me go with 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any right answer to this because there's so many great ones. But
Right.
I'm going to go with the John Wick movie.
Okay.
We'll go with number 1. But any of them. They were great. I enjoyed them.
I like the third better.
Yeah. That one was good. I enjoyed that one too. I was about to give away spoilers. So John Wick, I'm going to go with Desperado. Antonio Banderas. That's one of my... Any movie you quote a lot is one that you have to use. So I'm going to go with that one. Predator keeps coming up in my mind for some reason. I'm like, I don't know. I want to pick something
like
else.
action horror, though.
But it's
That's
still
more
action.
Like
I
horror.
think it counts as action.
Okay.
It's going on my list.
Okay.
And then I need one more.
Not very family friendly.
No. These are all... We should do a family-friendly version. This is all very, very intense. And Time Cop.
Ooh, wow.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's some going back there. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Is like you think, you can go like horror, like...
The one movie, Jean-Claude.
Like you could do like Blade. Extreme action movies.
Okay.
You could do a Matrix movie. That would be an awesome action movie. I'm thinking like...
How did I forget Blade?
Godzilla is an awesome action movie. That's really great action because there's military.
Okay, I need to slash one of mine and put Blade in there instead.
Okay.
Which one should I cut to add Blade?
I would cut John Wick, the first John Wick, to add Blade.
Okay. Controversial
Yeah.
choice. I was almost ready to give up Time Cop in favor of Blade.
Okay, yeah, I would do Tom Cop then. Definitely Tom Cop.
Okay, yeah. And I'm just literally kind of plucking these out of the air. So.
Right. It's like there's too many in my head.
There's too many.
Way too many.
Die Hard's good. Die Hard almost made my list, but
Yeah.
it's more of a Christmas movie than an action movie.
Right.
Honestly.
And I'm thinking like Onslaught, like all the time you're going, whoa, oh my gosh, what? Stop. That's insane.
Transformers. Non-stop action.
Yeah, that's
A
an action movie.
veritable thrill ride.
I would say maybe Bumblebee and not all the Transformers. Not all
Yeah, you ain't seen Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, Bad Boys. There's another great action series movies. Hot Fuzz is a great action movie.
I like Hot Fuzz. So many.
Way too many.
That stuff. Well, there's mine for... You don't
Equalizer. Denzel Washington.
That's good.
Equalizer 1 and 2 would be on my list. Those were good movies.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
And he didn't die.
And he didn't die in either one.
I like it when the hero doesn't die.
Spoiler, but it's still pretty good.
If you're wondering if he was going to die, he didn't.
He didn't.
But, some of his other movies.
The beginning of the second one was...
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's really good.
Is it on Netflix?
No.
Do we have to rent it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to see it.
It's really good.
Any and all Denzel. Oh, man. This is one Michael Jai White movie that I really liked. It's a Blood to Bone. He was in prison. I don't know. It was great. He just kicked everybody's butts. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Not a big stellar hit, but I thought it was great. He's a great action.
Because then you think The Punisher, you have to think even Marvel movies are good action movies. You have to think, just there's like such a broad
I don't think there's
spectrum.
been a good Punisher movie.
Yeah.
Those were bad. It says, tell us about that washburn in the background. Is that a washburn with the Iommi inlays? It looks cool. I want to know. Philip Tomlin asked, what washburn is that with the cross inlays? You guys are probably talking about this bad boy that was sitting behind us last week and currently this week. It is indeed a washburn. Thick bodied. It's their idle body shape. This was a custom limited run from Boogie Street Guitars, Eric McKenna, Pittsburgh, PA. It's got a little, there's the boogeyman on the headstock.
Double boogie.
Yeah. There's Brutus. The one is Brutus, who was like the mascot, and then there was a little boogeyman guy.
Yeah.
So this made in Korea. Only 50 of them made. This is number 29 of 50. So it does have supposedly the more authentic Iommi crosses, because I think there's, Epiphone made some, and there's some other guitars that have made them, but they didn't get the crosses quite right. Supposedly these are the more authentic shape. Anyway, Eric McKenna, Boogie Street Guitars, he's a big fan of Black Sabbath and Tony Iommi, and so he commissioned this guitar and spec'd it out to be basically a tribute to Iommi. It's obviously not an SG, but it's in tribute to. It's got Seymour Duncan El Diablo pickups, which he said in retrospect he thinks he would have chose different pickups for that. But at the time, these were very pricey and still are kind of pickups. Yeah. So it is a washburn, limited run. There was only 50 of them made. I actually saw one like a year or two ago used.
Did you say number?
This is number 29 of 50. I saw another one on a used website for a pretty killer deal. I was like, oh man, I can't remember what number it was, but I was like, I don't really need two of the same one, but they are collectible numbered. So yeah, it's a cool guitar. I'm pretty sure I have a video on it way back on the channel somewhere. And if I don't, I should make another one. But yeah, it's one of my Boogie Street Guitars, washburn. Custom, not really custom shop, it's an import. But it's a custom shop, an imported custom guitar. Because it wasn't a production run. You could only buy it dealer exclusive from those guys. Which is one of the ideas we got for, one of my thoughts behind doing our dealer exclusive run. RNA music stuff is like, hey man, Eric's was doing that back, in 06, 05, 06, he was doing that. And like, I really liked the idea of, being able to spec out your own model and all that stuff. So
yeah.
There you go. I'll try to dig up, maybe on one of my Guitar of the Day videos from like 5 years ago, it's in there. But if not, I'll do another video just on that guy.
There you go.
Great question. Next question, AY70. Can you give your options on the ESP LTD James Hetfield Signature range, please, and the EMG headset? Just options. I think you meant opinion, maybe?
Maybe.
My opinion on the LTD ESP James Hetfield stuff, I think it's great. I like it. I don't own any, which is surprising, honestly. I don't know why. I have owned signature guitars before of various people. I don't think I currently own.
Right.
I don't currently own a signature guitar.
Right.
I don't think of anyone, but I have in the past.
This is right.
Oh man.
Major allergies today.
Allergic to me?
Yeah.
Again?
I think it's just dusty.
I think it's just the Texas heat.
That too.
I have played a few Hetfield Signature ESP guitars and LTDs, and they were great. And the ESPs. I actually played James's #1 Snakebite ESP once. It's pretty rad. I think they're great. I like them. And the headset, I have the headset in one of my guitars. Yes, I think. Yes. I have actually owned 2 sets of the headset, and one is right now in my LTD guitar. It's gold. And then I have another set that I took to Georgia to put in the CMG guitar, but I ended up taking those out and putting the 57, 66 that we put in all the other limited runs, so they would be the same. So, but I like them. I think they're great.
Cool. Yeah.
Which is no surprise because I'm a huge James Hetty fan. Papa Het, he's great.
Yep.
So there you go. I like them. I think they're awesome. I don't own any. Maybe someday. Maybe one day. Thanks for the question, AY70. Next question, just fun guitar. From the England where some people have air conditioning and some people say no, there's no air conditioning.
Yeah.
It's funny because
It's a toss-up.
depends on who you ask.
Which is
Some people
basically like America.
yeah, some people here have AC, some people don't. Depends on where you live. So I have quite the ask. I want to get you to watch a video and give me your views on if Gibson/others should be allowed to destroy their own property when it's exotic wood going extinct at the cost of people's lives. Details in this video, and he left the link. You can go check it out on last week's Ask RNA. You can scroll down. I'll have the link there. It's a big topic, so I'll just ask that one question for next week. I'm still paying off my new Gibson Les Paul, but it has made me question if I should buy another product from that company on ethical grounds. I would need to see change in business conduct. Hashtag First Monday KTMA. Thanks so much for the great content. I know these vids are hard work with the editing, etc. I know you do, Chris, because you make videos, and so if you make videos, you understand the the after part of the editing and uploading and all that stuff. So I watched that video. It basically goes into a lot of corruption in other countries, like I think it was Cambodia, maybe, where they're having trouble finding rosewood, and so what happened is they get a lot of these permits. But the government officials over there are ultra corrupt and under bribes from like warlords because they're going into other countries and harvesting these trees.
Rambo.
Yeah,
Another action movie.
Yeah.
All the Rambos.
Yeah, and they've got rangers. They call them rangers. Like they go in there and try to track down and fight the people who are illegally harvesting the rosewood, and like they're fighting and like killing people are dying. Right. And it's like this whole like illegal trafficking basically of wood. But then they get it and then they take it to the government, and the government officials, they'll sign off. Here's a permit. It's legal.
Right.
Even though it's not really legal.
Right.
Their government made it legal. Sounds like Star Wars. And we'll make it legal.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I guess American companies buy the wood. A lot of that wood though is actually going to China. Like a ton of it was going to China, and they use it in their furniture. It's very high-end, expensive status symbol furniture.
Right.
It sounded like a significant chunk of it was going to China for furniture for very wealthy people, politicians and stuff.
Right.
But a lot of some of it was going to instrument makers too. So now that's a tricky question because, if you're an American business and to your knowledge, you have gone through the right channels and you've filled out the paperwork and you imported stuff from overseas and you got the green light from their government officials saying, nope, this is legal. How they got that product to you, you don't know.
Right.
Like, you don't know. It's hard to say unless you were there and tracked it from when that tree was chopped down to what hands it went through to where it went. Yeah. So, and that's kind of a tricky question. So as far as the manufacturer on this side, if you're importing materials from somewhere else, to your knowledge, you've gone through the right channels. So how do you know if at some point it was, what was going on with it? So I think that's tough. I think most of us, if we looked real deeply at any of our products we use in the West, Europe, America, Canada, it's like where that stuff comes from and how it's made and the things it takes to make it, we probably wouldn't be using anything that we use.
Right.
But as far as the real question is, do they have the right to do what they want to with their own property? For sure. Absolutely. They still do. That doesn't...
It sucks, but it does.
Yeah. Now that's the question you have to ask is, do they know exactly how all that came to be?
Right.
They're not reporters going in, investigative reporters track. They're just trying to buy some.
Right.
We need to make
Got
X
Lisa
number of
Lean
guitars.
going on.
Yeah, we need to buy X number of guitars. Go.
This is the company
buy
that
the wood.
provides that service for us. This is how we can get it. This is what we do. But I think what Chris, right?
Yeah. It's Chris. Just Fun Guitar, but his name is Chris.
Okay. I was saying that, but I was like, I don't want to say. Okay, what I think Chris is like, if you know that the country, like this certain wood is going extinct, like it, you know, even though the channels they got it was fine, but why destroy something when you know that you could probably recycle it into something else? You know, it's like take all the hardware out of it and strip it down and use that wood again, because there's so much, because now that wood's going into the chipper. It's not good for anything. You can't use it for anything. And now, because you still want that wood, even though you had that wood in your hands, you have to go back to this company. They have to chop down those trees again and get more wood when you just had that in your hands.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if they knew that it was going extinct ethically, you know, would you still buy, you know, products from that company if they knew? It's like, I mean, that's up to you, honestly, because that goes back to a lot of things. There was one thing about palm oil, because certain, how they extract and cut down the palm trees to get the palm oil, or however it's harvested. I haven't done my own personal research, but I've heard it on many accounts that they're killing off orangutans because they inhabit these palm trees.
Right.
And so they're chopping all these palm trees down where these orangutans are living, and it's this group of orangutans are being just wiped out
basically
because of palm oil. Well, palm oil, if you read any kind of lotion, any kind of some foods that have oils in it, has palm oil in it. But most people don't know that. Most companies don't know that, because they're getting it from another source that has already harvested it, and they are like, here, we have this giant vat of palm oil and you need this for your company. You know, most people aren't going to ask, well, how was it harvested? Where did you get this from exactly? They're like, wow, good, cheap palm oil.
Good, we can make a profit.
We can make a profit. So that's up to the consumer to do your research to find out, because if enough people, and this is capitalism in and of itself, if supply and demand, if people find out that a certain company is doing something that you believe is unethical, then it's up to the people to voice their opinions loud enough to say, no, we're not going to do this anymore. So it'll raise a red flag for the company and say, well, what are the studies showing? What is the demographic showing? Well, they're saying that they won't buy our products because of this product. Now, unfortunately, a lot of companies have found this out, especially when it comes to the word organic, and they have replaced just enough for the FDA to approve it to say that it's organic, even though most of it is not organic, but they have enough by FDA standards to say organic that they're able to put the label organic on your product, even though some of it is not organic, it's synthetic. So there are ways.
They will lie to us in their marketing?
What? So there's ways for them to get around it. So again, it's back on the hands of the consumer to do your research, not just consume anything and just be, you know, cows grazing in a field, and whatever the company calls, you go over and feed, no matter what they're handing you to, because we are just consumers. We have to do our research, and if you personally feel this is not up to how I want my children to live, how I want my physical body, or in my home, or just by moral standards, then it's up to you to voice that opinion. It's up to you to spread that word, so more people can be apprised to that knowledge, because most people don't. I always say this, the Bible says that people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. It's not for a lack of funds or a lack of honesty, it's a lack of knowledge. People are completely destroyed because we have a tendency to look down and forget that we have the right to ask a question. And I think that comes back to that. So it's up to you. If you want, if you think that it's wrong, and if you've done your research, then you should do a video about it and say this is what it actually comes down to. And then enough people can get on that boat and voice their, have their voices be heard that this isn't good. Let's find a way. It's like writing to your congressman or your parliament member. It's getting active in that, and it's up to us to do that.
There you go, man. You guys let us know what y'all think. I would like to see your thoughts on that. All right. Thanks for the question, Chris. Next question. Dale Palmer. Question. What do you do to keep cool in Texas when your AC breaks down?
Oh.
You go buy window units.
Yes, you go get window units, or you go to a place, you go to a family member's house, or you go to a friend's house, or you stay somewhere where it's always cool until it's dark. And then you can go home, open up the windows at night so it'll cool down enough. You either spray yourself with water, take cold showers. Drink lots of cold foods. Don't turn on the oven. Don't turn on the stove. You know, try not to eat anything hot, mostly sandwiches, something cool, fruit, vegetables, you know, stuff like that, so that you don't melt.
Yeah. You get your air fixed is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like I get it, like your central air unit, there's times where like your central air in your house here, and it can cost thousands of dollars to fix if it breaks down. However, you can go buy little window units for like $150. So for $500, you can go get window units to put in every room of your house if you can't afford $5,000 to fix your central air.
Right.
If you don't have any money, you're just crazy broke. You take cold showers.
You take cold showers.
All day. Multiple times a day.
We've done that. As a kid, we had our air conditioner go out a couple of times because we lived in older houses with older units, and sometimes they overworked for the summer, and they can't keep up, and so they would break down, or the coolant would run out, or something like that. And we would at night. Of course, we still had electricity, so we had fans, box fans inside the windows all the fans would be going. And my sisters and I, we would get water bottles and we would spray ourselves with water, spritz ourselves. So when the fan would oscillate around, it would just,
Did you put ice in the water bottles?
Mm-hmm.
Like ice water
bottles? It was like in the refrigerator, cold water, and we would just spritz ourselves and we go. I mean, it would be like you're in, southern heat, humidity all night long. You wake up, your hair's all kinky and frizzy and stuff from it, but you were cool and you actually got some sleep. We wouldn't cover up. We would strip the bed down to just the sheets and no blankets, no covers. We'd spray our pillows and the sheets and lay down on it, and it would just cool off. Fans.
It reminds me, we were telling the story last week of the ghost stories at Paul's house, the Bitter Bass Man's old house on the lake.
Oh my gosh,
that was mostly
hot.
Sheetrock and plywood and all that kind of stuff. I remember going over there one time. I don't know if we were seniors, I think freshmen in college maybe, and like the air, because the house didn't have central air. It was still like sheetrock, plywood mostly. Had electricity, and upstairs I think they had a window unit of some kind, but I think it went out. I think Paul was alone, like his mom had left and was gone for like the summer or something. It was somewhere else, and it was just Paul at the house, and the air went out. The window unit broke, or there wasn't one or something, and I would go over there and like he's just sitting there like in shorts, like no shirt, just sweating. I'm like, are you okay? With the fan just blowing. He's like, yeah. It's like cold showers. Just take a cold shower like once an hour, just for hop in for 5 minutes, and then I'm like, dude.
See, they can't do that in Nevada.
Yeah.
They can't take cold showers. Because the water's
not cold.
The water's not cold anymore.
The water's not coming from deep enough underground to be cold. But yeah.
That's one thing about having all the trees and stuff around here, and we have natural wells and stuff that
artesian wells.
We don't have a lack of cold water over here in this part of Texas. Now, other parts of Texas, they do. But when you get further west, the harder it is to take a cold shower because the water, it's still too hot when it comes up through the faucet. It's like you either take a hot shower or a warm shower.
You go to Walmart and you buy a 20-pound bag of ice and you dump it in your bathtub and you take a cold bath. That's what you do.
Or you just sit on it.
Just sit on the bag of ice. Yeah, you suffer terribly is what happens. Thanks for the question, Dale Palmer. Next question, Terry Himes, #First Monday. I do have a question. I don't think I've seen any hollow body or semi-hollow body electrics, such as an ES335 style guitar, in your vids. Do you carry any? They are a popular style of guitar. That's true. Many companies make a version of them besides Gibson, Gretsch, etc. I see all solid body electrics in the background. Just curious. Great question. Well, Terry, we actually did have a 335 style, actually super authentic, a Heritage. That's what it was. It slipped my mind for a second. Heritage guitars. We had one of their 335 styles here at the shop, and that was the one sometimes people would come in and pick up when they're like, oh, you have Heritage. Let me try that one. So we have had that one. Washburn makes the HB35, which is very cool, very nice version of that guitar. I've never ordered one from Washburn because nobody's ever wanted one. For the most part, people locally in the store, you know, coming in looking at guitars, maybe twice in 10 years has somebody asked about a semi-hollow, or somebody asked, could you order an HB35? I'm like, yes, I can. I can get you one. Okay. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know.
Right.
You know, so yeah, you're right. A lot of companies do. Ibanez makes some really great ones too. Fantastic. If you want, you know, a 335 style on a budget, Ibanez. I mean, the Epiphone ones are good. The Washburn ones, from what I hear, I've only played one or two maybe over the years, are great, HB35s. But locally, our demographic, that's not really what people ask for.
Right.
So, you know, I haven't ordered any because I'm like, well, not that many people locally are interested in those. So the likelihood of it hanging on the wall for a long time is probably very high.
Right.
But you never know. So you're right. They are great. But yeah, we had one that didn't sell.
Right.
Which it's quite nice, but you know. So maybe in the future we'll get some. We're dealing with Tajima now, Tajima guitars, and I think they have one. I was looking through their catalog, and you know the price was right, so we might do something with them. I like semi-hollows. Schecter had some really cool semi-hollow, like C1s.
Yeah.
And when we lived in Tulsa, my friend Larry had one he used when he would do lessons. Like, that's a cool guitar. Because you've got a little, you can play it unplugged, and it's semi-hollow, so it has a little bit more resonance than just a regular solid body electric. So you could play it around the house and have a little bit more sound. Not quite as much as an acoustic, but yeah, there you go, Terry. Just there's not that big of a demand right here in East Texas for those. There is a big demand for acoustic guitars, and we have about as quick as we get acoustic guitars in, we sell them. So, which reminds me, I need to order some more acoustic guitars. But locally, it's not a big demand for them, honestly. Thanks for the question, though. Appreciate it, Terry. Next question, Denny's Plant-Based Journey, who is in Amarillo. I think he's in Amarillo.
By morning.
Or Lubbock. Lubbock or Amarillo? Amarillo. He will correct me in the next video. So, dude, love the burgundy or whatever it is in person. Single cut above Angela. Is that a Schecter?
Yes.
It is a Schecter. I forget, it's not actually burgundy. I mean, it kind of looks burgundy-ish. It's a, can you grab it out there?
It's a deep red.
Yeah. It's almost like, not quite their vampire satin red. It's...
See how bright it got when it got close to the light?
Yeah. It's got some nice quilt in it. Yeah. Yep, it is a Schecter Solo 6 Hellraiser. Look at that back. So nice. And the neck. I got a video on it, I think. I think I have an unboxing of this. Pretty sure I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know. It's kind of the sister guitar to this one. They're both the Hellraiser Extremes. Yeah. This one has the maple fretboard, and the red one has a ebony fretboard. Those two, I like those a lot. They're a little heavy. I've noticed the last few weeks when I pick one to play, I'm like, oh man, it's heavy. Or I'm getting older, I don't know. Or
No, they're heavy guitars.
Shoulders. I like them. I've been on the search for the transparent black version of those with the maple fretboard. I can never find one when I have the funds. But I found those two at stupid killer prices. Very reasonably priced. So I got those instead of having been able to get the black one. And every time a black one pops up, somebody will message me, "Hey Ryan, here's one of these black ones." I'm like, just bought a different guitar. I can't. I can't get it. So there's been about 2 times since the actual one I really, really want has come up, and I'm like, I can't do it. Can't do it. So one of these days I'll have a trio of those Schecter solo. We got 3 solo 6s. I like them a lot. But yeah, that one's pretty neat. I'm going to swap the pickups on that one. I've got some new pickups for it, and so it will be in a video. We're going to compare the stock 81 and 89 pickup in that, and we're going to swap them with a very special set of EMG 57 and a 66 that you can split, which I have a set of. I'm not supposed to, but I have them.
Okay.
So there will be a video eventually with that guitar, so stay tuned for more of that. Thanks for the question, Denny. Next question. Sonic Grace got a question. What do you think of zombies? Do they buy many guitars? Which guitar would you use to take one out that is attacking you? What's your favorite zombie movie? Have you ever sold a guitar to Rob Zombie? Sorry about all the zombie questions. They just started rolling out. LOL. Typical. Something. I don't know what the last thing he said was. What do you think of zombies?
What I think of zombies? I don't think they'll ever exist.
They're not real.
They're not.
You're not
I don't
legit.
think it's a possibility.
You're not legit scared of them like I'm scared of sharks.
I can see that if it was kind of zombie-esque, it would be more like, what is it? The movie with Brad Pitt. World War Z.
World War Z.
Because it was more of like a fever.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rage fever, like their brain, something that was contagious, like a contagion that made people just rage
Their adrenaline just go
until
crazy.
Where they were so sick, but they were just adrenaline crazy that they were attacking people with rage. I think that would be more likely than from the dead, people, and their bodies are completely, just destroyed and still walking around eating people. I don't think that could ever happen, but yeah. Do they buy many guitars?
We have not sold a guitar yet to a zombie.
Not yet.
That I'm aware of.
We have to a couple of raging people.
People with breathtaking anger management issues.
Yes. Yes, we have. I should go to extreme counseling immediately, anger management classes. Sure.
But not zombies. What's your favorite zombie movie?
What's my favorite zombie movie? Night of the Living Dead.
The original?
Mm-hmm.
The old school,
black and white. Yep.
I have not watched that.
I like it for multiple reasons. I like it because it is honestly very disturbing for what it is. Of course, a lot of movies back then, they were really good at capturing the drama of moments where it was just like that shock and awe. They were really great at capturing it. I like that the hero was a black guy for a black and white movie.
Back in the day.
That's
and
he slapped the crap of the crazy white girl in the movie. And I like that they actually left that in.
That wasn't too controversial.
It wasn't.
She needed it.
Yeah, they're coming.
Can I say that?
They're coming for you, Barbara. And she was just like, and he's like, like he just like knocked the crap out of her, and he's like, listen, if we're gonna survive, you need to stop
Woman.
Stop it! Of course, I think I can't remember the ending honestly, but I think that's probably my favorite movie. Now, Goofy aside, it's a tie between Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland with Woody Harrelson. Of Goofy.
And Bill Murray.
Yes, because Bill Murray's in it.
Zombieland was funny.
It was funny, and it was ridiculous and just dumb. Yeah. But there's so many in between, like 28 Days Later and...
Does Blade 2 count as a zombie movie? Because the vampires that the main vampire bit, he infected them with a thing, and they were kind of mindless.
Yeah, they were. They were just attacking people, eating them.
They were just, indiscriminately. I kind of feel like Blade 2 is a zombie movie.
A little bit. Yeah. We're fans of The Walking Dead for a while, obviously.
Walking Dead was the one zombie thing that I really got into.
Yes.
Like
a
really
season later, like I was from the get-go.
I was from the beginning. before you even watched it.
Whatever. And
I'm lying.
it was so good because I am a zombie. I love zombie movies, and I've seen almost every single zombie movie. And I was like, the very first intro, the very first episode of Walking Dead was iconic of every zombie movie brought together to make the intro. Very first season 1, episode 1 was great. It was beautifully done. Cinematography, just the look of it, the feel of it, the sounds, everything. It was just so scary and just over the top. It was good. But just enough. It wasn't like ridiculous where it was just ripping everything open, but it gave you enough scare to where you're like, okay, I have to know what is going to happen to this cowboy. You know? Yeah. I have to know what's going to happen to this sheriff. But yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not as big into zombies. It's not really my thing so much. But I've never sold a guitar to Rob Zombie. I have seen White Zombie in concert. Before he was Rob Zombie, the solo artist. Yeah. He had a band. White Zombie.
Before he started with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, before he became a director and all that stuff. Which I've heard his movies are crap. Well, even Paul says they're crap, and he likes horror movies.
That's saying a lot. Now, I will go to Paul if any
Paul
scary movie. Paul is
a
the
horror
guy.
movie aficionado.
Yes, like a good wine, like a good cognac. He's just like
he's like,
it's good.
This is crap.
Or he's like, how dare you, sir? You know.
Yeah, but I did see White Zombie in concert with Pantera in Dallas. So that's the closest I've ever been to a real zombie, I think. Thanks for the question, Sonic Grace. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah. She knows things about zombies. I know that's right.
You just skipped a question.
Did I?
Terry Starks.
Oh, dang. Next question.
I don't see him saying.
Next question, Terry Starks. Ryan, what are the chances of getting a Phat Mark in the RNA limited edition colors from CMG? I'm not a Telly fan at all, but it hit me the other day as I looked at their website that the maple fretboard with abalone and blackburst will look great, and the P90s jazzed me. What would be the price if they did? I'm seriously thinking about placing an order. Thanks, hashtag KTMA. Well, that's a good question, Terry. So that color, that's like our color. That's an RNA color. Let me grab. And, ooh, it kind of looks purpley. It's not really purple.
It's totally blue.
On our screen, it looks purple.
In person, it's more like
it's more of a
blue, gray, dark.
Yeah.
Blackish.
We'll
gray.
see. But, so this whole spec is our spec. Yeah, so this setup is our spec, you know? And even if it's done on one of their other guitars, it's kind of, you can't really order that without authorization. Like, people wanted to get this guitar from Chris, and he's like, no, sorry, that was a limited run of this one. Yeah, but even the color, it's like, it's sort of proprietary, maybe is the word I'm looking for. That's like, it was our custom color that we kind of developed with them and all that. So now I have considered, because we're going to do, another run at some point of limited edition dealer exclusive, numbered runs, which I got that idea from my man Eric McKenna at Boogie Street. I have considered, was one of the options, is essentially recreating this bad boy, but in the Mark body style. And that with the abalone blocks on the maple fretboard, and that is something that has been considered, in my mind anyways. We haven't, hang that back up. We haven't sat down and kind of discussed, like, hey, what are we going to do with the next run? What's it going to be? We haven't really. I just have things rolling around in the back of my noggin about that. But one of my thoughts was recreating that, because that was really popular. People liked it. And the more, as soon as one came out, people were like, whoa, that's awesome. I'm not ready to buy, but, and now that they're gone, Right. So that's been one of my thoughts. For that is to do the next one in the Mark body style, and one of the configurations was basically kind of making that guitar but in their Mark, and probably not with humbuckers, because you could just
Right.
That would be too close. It would be more of the T-style. Maybe a T-style bridge and, you know, a P90 in the neck or something. But it's possible. Pricing, you're probably looking at about $1,500. I actually really underpriced these first 5. I was like, oh man. When I configured, you know, the price, because we provided the pickups, you know, and like that was our cost, and we, you know, I didn't really factor in the price of the nice custom chrome EMG pickups, which are a little bit more than the regular ones. But it's possible, Terry. One of my other thoughts was I'm going to confer with the 4 gentlemen who purchased, you know, RNA exclusive Guitar 1 and kind of ask them their thoughts. Maybe a little bit of like, give me your feedback. What do you think? I mean, ultimately, it's still our decision
Right.
of what we want to do, which is why I think it works, really. But yeah, it's possible. It's possible that might be a run.
Right.
Don't hold me to it, but if it does happen, pricing wise is more closer going to be probably like $14.99.
Right.
They originally were like $12.99, I think, and like $13.49.
Right.
That was too low, honestly. Thanks for the question, Terry. So excited. Okay, next question. Now, Tim Fletcher, hashtag First Monday. Hey, you guys, older beginner here, just turned 41 in July and have been playing for about 2 years now, only a few hours a week. Grown up reality. Hashtag. I know that's right, man. Grown ups got stuff to do. My question / problem is that I live out in the sticks in down east Maine, and there is no one to get lessons from in a reasonable distance. I like my chuggy Metallica Megadeth, but also Tom Petty, Traveling Wilburys, etc., classics. I've been learning songs on the YouTubes, but I'd like to learn more. I'm kind of lost. Every time I search around and maybe look into theory, I get one position of the blues scale in E, LOL, or I get into something that's way over my head. Is there a path I should be taking? Like Mr. or Mrs. Teacher tells me I should be doing such and such. Since you both happen to be instructors, perhaps a little guidance on what I should be doing.
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Great question. Kind of a loaded question, honestly.
Triggered.
Loaded to bear. Yeah, that can be a challenge. You know, I think the best option is to always be able to go to another person, you know, and get that one-on-one feedback. Now, your problem is there's no one close by. Right. So you are kind of limited to, I would suggest maybe doing like Skype lessons. Now, that's kind of hard to do because I have friends who used to do, like Robert Baker used to do Skype lessons, but then he got so busy with other stuff, he's like, just don't have time for it anymore. So that can be tricky because a lot of teachers who are good are growing and they're getting busier and busier, and then they have to move on to other things. So getting that one-on-one feedback, even with that, can be tough.
Right.
But, you know, and you don't know what you don't know. That's the problem. And kind of, there's no shortage of information. Thank you to the internet. There is all of the information.
Yeah.
I think what you're asking is like, what order, what sequence should I go through this information?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people's issue, especially when they're trying to self-teach themselves, you know, is you'll pick a thing, a topic, whatever, and you'll start working on it, and maybe you get a little bored, or maybe you get a little frustrated because it's difficult and there's a challenge, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna try this other thing. And so okay, I'm gonna stop working on that, I'm gonna go work on this. And then like you hit a wall where it gets a little tough because everything does, and like, I'm gonna go back to this, and I'm gonna go back to this, and then I'm gonna go to this, and then, you know, you're just shotgunning, you know, hitting a lot of different things and never really making the progress you want. I think having a plan helps.
Yeah.
But it can be tough because everybody's different,
Right.
and everybody has a different goal, and sometimes people don't always know what their goal is.
Right.
You know, and they think their goal is one thing, but it's really something else.
I think for me personally, because he's been playing forever, so he goes off the understanding of I've been playing since I was 14, 15, 16 years old. But like I'm just now really learning guitar, so I can teach the little ones, the younger ones, to kind of relieve some of the pressure of, you know, putting people on waiting lists for him. And we're the same age, Tim. So I think that...
You're 41?
What?
Son of a gun. I thought you were 29 this whole time. Oh my gosh.
So whenever I'm thinking like how I would want to learn, because like you said, either it's like the certain way here, and then or you have teachers who are just like over explaining theory into a point where like, did you just throw Japanese in there? Because I really don't understand what you're talking about. So what I think it would be really great is to find someone or have someone start teaching a group or do videos and online that really shows you the big picture. Because I'm a big picture kind of person. Like, try not to like show me this little bitty section. Show me the big picture and then work it down into the smaller picture. So I know, like, it's like you go up to a painting like a Monet, especially a Monet because the Monets are busy. So you go up to a Monet and it's like, wow, this is a lot. This is a lot of information. Yes, but now let me show you the step behind that step. Now let me show you the step behind. Let me deconstruct it for you in order for you to see, now this is where we're going to start and we're going to build it back up. So it's like, I think that there should be something along those lines, because then you kind of see the plan. And then along that time, I think for most adults, because we have gone through school, we have, you know, balanced checkbooks, and we've gone and we've done difficult things in our life where we understand a process. We understand a process. And when you deconstruct something, I think there will come a time where it'll click and you'll see it for what it is. I was telling him that just the other day. I'm like, I can see it now. Where before, whenever he was talking about modes and scales, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't see it. I don't see what you're saying. You've seen it because you've been in it for so long that whenever you look at your hand, you can visualize it. I can't visualize anything because I don't see the bigger picture. But I think that's where, when it comes to teaching adults, because you can't teach a child like that. You literally have to start with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then build from there, because that's how they're learning. We've already learned all that stuff. So I think going from the bigger picture and deconstructing it down to the basics is better for adults than it is for children when you start with the basics and build up to the bigger picture. Does that make sense? And so I think that for you, and it's hard because there's so many people out there that tell you so much information, where I want you to teach me like you would teach me how to put on brake pads for your car. Show me where to buy it. How, you know, what step is next? What step is next? I don't need to know the chemical compound of the brake pads.
I just need to know what screw to unscrew.
I just need to know.
What to turn.
What to turn. Because I'm not in this to teach this. I'm in this to play this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the dialogue gets lost. Even with vocal teachers, we want to teach, but we want to teach everything because we were taught everything. And it's like, no, let me show you how you can get the results now, and we will deconstruct it to now we're going to pinpoint certain things so you can see why we do that way. And it makes more sense with adult students than it does with younger students, because younger students, you have to start with the basic and build up, and older students, I think you have to start with the bigger picture and go down. Yes. Hello.
What's up? Oh, it's Keith. It's Keith.
It's Keith.
Yeah, he has his lesson in about 10 minutes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Tell him. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think we'll have to work on something for you. I think that we can work on something that would make sense, and for everybody out there. That's something that we should put in the plans for RNA music, for sure.
Yeah, I struggle with this sometimes because I went to school to be a band director, like to teach 6th grade beginning flute and clarinet and saxophone and trumpet and percussion. And, so I've studied multiple instruments, and it seems like for everything, like piano, I did piano when I was a kid, did piano in college. There's a fairly logically laid out order of learn this, then this, then this, then this, and then this for every instrument, it seems. And if you're a serious violin player or a cellist and you go take lessons, pretty much there's a consistent curriculum and order of this is how you learn to play the cello.
Right.
You learn these scales in this order. You learn this. Everyone learns this piece. This is your first piece.
Right.
And this is your second piece. And this is the
build
next level
up
of
from the
difficulty.
small,
And most people have the same repertoire of like, oh yeah, I remember when I learned that song, because in that particular song there's a whole lot of technique. Same thing for like the marimba. I learned we all learn the same pieces because they all develop certain things, So there's a foundational system in place for most instruments, it seems like. With guitar, it does not seem to be that way. There's no universally accepted, like, okay, you're learning guitar. Well, here is these steps. This is how we do it. Like when you teach math, generally before they got really done with math, there was like, okay, we do this, we do this, we do this, we do this.
Right, you
and
start with numbers.
Yeah.
How do you count to 100?
And then we learn addition, and then we learn subtraction, and then we learn
multiplication.
Now we go to multiplication. Now we go to division. Now we go to fractions. Now we go to long division. Now we go. There's an order.
Right.
You know what I mean? With guitar, it's so scattered, and there's so many teachers all over the place they all have their own method.
Right.
Well, so and so does it this way. Well, I do it this way.
Which frustrates the lay person.
It can be
very frustrating.
So I think I've come to the conclusion, and I've looked at different curriculums and like how does teach, what books, what's your method.
Many people.
I've asked a lot of other guitar players, and I have a lot of friends across the country who teach guitar, and none of them do it the same. And I'm like, all right, well, fine. I guess this is why we have so many different things.
It's going to be the lolly method.
I think this is why there's so many different ways, because no one can agree. So now I just got to come up with my own of what I think works. So
with the help of someone who has no idea.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. You'll be my test subject. Keith's a good test subject. My next student's here. He's an adult. Keith.
Okay, let's get the divided by time.
Okay, last question. Divided by time. How much is that CMG on your right soldier to build or buy? You can't buy it. You can't have it because that's the number 5, the last one of the CMG limited run RNA music. Yeah. Now this would, like I said, that one, like if you were going to buy it, this one had a few optional upgrades. Like we had the really swanky bird's eye maple fretboard, and we did a couple of options. So, but about $1,500 for like that one, with the higher priced nice EMG pickups. The fretboard upgrade added to some costs. But yeah, about like $14.99, $14.49, $14.99. That's how much that one would be. But you can't get it because
it was limited.
It was limited. It was a limited run. There was only X number made. We can't make any more.
Yeah.
But the next one, the next run of RNA CMG exclusive guitars.
Jump in on it.
Will be probably around that price, $13.99-ish. We probably won't do the bird's eye maple fretboards, but maybe. But yeah, close to.
I think you knows.
14 to $1,500. Basically. Right. So there you go. And that was the final question. Yay. All right, and we got to wrap it up. If you have a question for next week, please leave it below and we'll try to answer it. Please leave your comments and thoughts on all the other questions we discussed today. And our secret hashtag of the day is, if you made it to the very end of this video, you're amazing and a legend. So if you made it to the end of this video, the secret hashtag of the day, we want you to type it and we'll know you watched the whole thing. You have to watch the whole thing. Skipping around doesn't count. You don't get to be a legend if you skipper for a Skippy Skipperton. To be a legend, you have to watch the whole thing. I think it should be hashtag zombie. Hashtag zombie if you zombied out and watched this whole thing.
Yes.
So thank you guys so much, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
You need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for the next generation of all ages.
Always.
And we'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Zombies. Brains.